Hey there, this is Sara Oehler with Softflex Company. Today we're going to talk about the WigJigs as well as our Softflex craft wire, and I'm going to show you how to make a basic ear wire and then how you can even make some bigger shapes too. So if you've never seen a WigJig before, they're fantastic. They come in this clear acrylic so you can actually place a pattern underneath the jig and then put your pegs in and sometimes even follow a number guide if it's a set WigJig pattern. This is one of the smaller jigs. It's the WigJig Olympus Lite. This is the one that I use the most commonly when I'm doing any jewelry components, such as ear wires, clasps, connectors, things of that sort. You can also get a bigger size if you're doing things like wall hangings, wind chimes, Christmas ornaments, something that requires a little bit more size to it. So having said all that, I am going to be using our Softflex craft wire. I made a few ear wires already using the silver plated lavender because I felt like you'd be able to see it in the video a little bit more clearly. It does come in a lot of really fun, bright colors, but it also comes in your basic non-tarnished silver and then a gold silver plated. And what this is basically is a copper wire that has a silver plating, and then it has a color coating and a polyurethane coating over the top of it. What's wonderful about it is non-tarnish. It's also hypoallergenic because of the coating that's on the outside. You don't have to worry about any metal ever touching skin. So it works really well for things like ear wires and clasps that rub on the skin and can cause people allergic reactions. It's also great for matching colors. You know, if you're doing a design that has a purple wire, it's going to look fantastic if you've got your purple wire ear wire matching it as well. So to make a basic ear wire, I've already set the pegs in the correct pattern. Again, I'm going to use the silver plated lavender. I'm using a 20 gauge in our Softflex craft wire. To start out, I like to use the flush side of my cutters to trim the very end of the wire, and that just ensures that I'm starting with a nice flat flush cut at the end of the wire. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm just going to turn a loop onto the wire, so until the very tip meets the back side of the wire. And I often work right off my spool of wire, that way I don't waste any extra. I'm going to move this back out of the way. I'm going to slip onto my first metal peg, and as I showed you before, these actually can be moved around. You can move them anywhere in the board. For now, I'm going to leave it there. And then to create the shape, I'm actually just going to spin the jig and guide the wire with my hand. If I were to actually pull the wire, I'm going to catch each one of these pegs and it's going to create a bump in my ear wire. Whereas if I just gently spin the jig and guide the wire, it's going to give me a nice fluid line. And then I'll spin back to create my dip at the bottom, hold it in my ear. Now if I want it to be the same size as my original, I can even put this guy back onto the jig, and then I'll know, again using the flat side of my cutters, exactly where to cut off the wire. So let's set that there. Oftentimes when a piece comes off the WigJig, it is a little wonky. It's not going to be perfectly straight. That's completely normal. What you want to do is you want to grab your wire whacker, which is basically 2 nylon slabs. So they're really gentle on the wire. It won't harm the coating or mar anything, do any damage to the wire. You're going to set these down on the nylon slabs. You're going to take the second nylon slab and you're going to literally whack it down. For demonstration, I'm doing it kind of softly. You should probably do it fairly hard. So you really want to whack it and ensure that not only is the shape nice and flat now, but also you're work hardening the metal so that when it comes off the wire whacker, it's going to have a tendency to stay in that shape. Starting out, the wire is dead soft and we're work hardening it so that it's not going to move around or change shapes. So now I've got my pair of ear wires. The very last step I'm missing the tool for. I must have lost it at a show recently. But normally what I would do is I would take a burr cup, and that's basically a tool that is a long stick, and then it has a file cup at the end, and that file cup fits just perfectly on the end of the ear wire, and you just spin the ear wire inside of it, and that will make sure that there's no rough spots on the end, and it'll just sort of bevel off the edge of the ear wire, so when it goes through your ear, it's nice and smooth. Now, if you want to make this in bigger sizes, all you have to do is buy some super pegs. And let's see here, get this guy in here. And that's going to allow you to make bigger shapes. And if you want, you can even make really unique shapes, like this oversized ear wire. I used this larger super peg for that as well. I've seen people do things like square shapes at the top. You can do all sorts of neat things, and once you find a pattern that you really like, you can then draw it out and keep it for future reference and just place it right under the jig. It's great for making something consistently. It's also a great way to save money because craft wire is a lot more inexpensive than buying sterling silver, silver filled, or gold findings. And you can make it at your own discretion. So make it as you need it rather than buying a whole bunch ahead of time. So I hope that this video was helpful. I would love to hear from you if you want to leave a comment on this video. I'm always game for questions. I do answer questions on the videos. And if you'd like to learn more about our products, please do drop by our website, www.softflexcompany.com.